God's bringing another people into America and pushing the white Europeans off the land.
Hey guys, this is Ratio Christie South. You know, I try not to get too political on this channel, but this person brought God into this, so I have to say something. Alright, the guy, Rick Wiles, is a televangelist who has been on the air for decades. I really don't know much more about him than that. However, after watching this, I really don't want to. That being said, before I go on my rant, let's listen to the rest of what he has to say.
Our country's soaked in blood.
Yes.
And the soil is crying out for justice.
Yes.
So I've been warning for 20 years, if we don't repent, there'll be another people brought in that will push us off the land. And I've thought all these years, Chinese, Russians, who's capable of invading us? It just hit me.
Right.
It just hit me in the past week. We've already been invaded.
Right. We're already
being pushed off the land.
Yes.
It's already happened. The judgment has been underway for years, and we didn't see it.
This is the judgment of God.
God's bringing another people into America and pushing the white Europeans off the land.
Alright, so where do I begin? After doing some research, come to find out this guy believes that Trump was handpicked by God himself. So, I can say that his lunacy and borderline blasphemy is at least consistent. But I really do dislike how people claim to have belief of what God wanted when a specific event happens, because they can believe that they can attribute God did X because of Y. Now, one of his guys says in a bit that it follows a biblical pattern, but let's look at that. When we look at these different cases where God was removing people from the land, it was very specifically said by a prophet who got a divine revelation from God. It isn't like this guy where it's just, well, he just sees people are losing land, so I guess God did it. No, that is not how it works. In fact, most, if not all the times, I can't remember off the top of my head, God declares that he is going to be removing people from the land well before he actually does it. It's not done while it was happening. It's really not much of a revelation. Secondly, even if we are going to play this game, and it is a game and it's not how we should actually be interpreting the Bible, that something is going to happen to the U.S. because we do something wrong, why all of a sudden is it now? Make no mistake, abortion is murder and absolutely horrible, but the U.S. has done even worse in the past. I mean, we're talking about committing genocide against the Native Americans. Now, look at the Battle of Wounded Knee, where the U.S. military flat out massacred hundreds of men, women, and children who had already surrendered to them. Slavery in the antebellum South led to a fourth of the slaves dying just during the Middle Passage or the march along the coast. Once on the plantation, the slave experienced brutality that is almost never seen in all of history, and this was being done for hundreds of years. Third, no one is being forced out of the U.S. Now, there are some arguments about people saying that unskilled laborers are net drain on resources and that they might present some security problems, but they certainly aren't pushing anyone out. We have plenty of land masses for people to be on. Anyways, on that, why did this guy specify white Europeans? Native Americans have been on this land for thousands of years, and black people, absolutely, we've been on here as long as the white people have. Are we being pushed out too? Or does this guy just not care about us?
I know you're going to get really upset with me, but it's the truth.
Yes. It makes perfect sense. I mean, it fits the biblical pattern, right?
Yes. And so we have a brown invasion that has come in.
Yes, and they're not killing their kids. Think about this.
They're not murdering.
Now, this doesn't look like any white European I've ever seen. Is he also part of the brown invasion?
Their babies. This is the land vomiting the people out. And so all these years have been waiting on the Chinese to come and do it, and not realizing God's doing it with Central Americans.
Again, I usually try to refrain from doing political rants because I want the channel to be more focused on God and truth, because I know far too well how religious organizations can become sock puppets for either party. But this guy went way too far. But I will say that it is important that Christians should be the first people to criticize men like this. Number one, it's terrible theology. Number two, it's racist. Yes, this is racist. And number three, people like this lead people away from God. Lots of different media portrayals show Christians as extremists like this. And think about all the people who have had really bad experiences growing up with the church, not having the right type of church. And then this type of man only reinforces that when they see it. And let's not forget about the many atheist channels, and again, media, that pick men like this and then proceed to make their viewers despise religion even more than they already do. So keep this in mind. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Please like this video and comment. What do you think of all this? This is Ratio Christy South. Y'all have a great day.